She is 100% responsible for the inflation disaster that is destroying American families. And under President Trump, we had a booming economy with no inflation. Wages were going up and people were saving and young people were buying homes. Let's get back to that prosperity.
He's absolutely right. Under President Trump, America was prosperous, secure. China was in a crouch in the corner. But we all know that the liberals, especially the ones that call themselves economists, are scared of another Trump term. These people hate when America is put first and when the globalist game is no longer catered to, specifically when it comes to trade. They are simply afraid of Trump because Trump does not kiss up to them and their advice that always seems to put international interests of adversaries like China above that of the United States. There's a sense of panic over the fact that President Trump is anxious to get back to work and impose quite a few of these tariffs and counteract the tariffs that are imposed on U.S. goods to make sure that more jobs stay right here on U.S. soil and there is less incentive to leave. His vice presidential pick, as you just heard, Senator J.D. Vance, believes this as well. Coming from the Rust Belt of America, a second Trump term is vital to America's actual economic interest in keeping the wealth concentrated right here, not sprinkled abroad. These people are determined to scare you into voting against your own economic interests, lying to you that President Trump is determined to make the rich richer, increase the debt, make inflation worse. They will lie and do anything to make sure that a Trump and Vance ticket does not make it to Washington to fight for the middle class, to fight these lies and put your economic worries at rest. Is former Trump administration director of the National Trade Council, Dr. Peter Navarro. He's authored the latest book, The New MAGA Deal, The Unofficial Deplorables Guide to Trump's 2024 Platform. Peter, welcome back, a resounding welcome back.
Hey, Chanel, how are you? But it's been too long for the wrong reasons. But look, I'm back. Let me put the real copy of the book up as well. I'm really excited about the New MAGA Deal. You can get it at Don Jr.'s website, the publishing house, newmagadeal.com, newmagadeal.com, or at Amazon. I started writing this book right after the 2022 congressional elections, which were a great disappointment to the Republican Party. Yeah. There was supposed to be this great red wave, red tide that was going to wash over everything, and it didn't. And I thought to myself, look, 2024 is coming up, the president's race. What's going on here? What did we do wrong? And the New MAGA Deal book, I think, addresses the two problems we need to deal with. And they actually provide a way to win in November, not just to win with Republicans, but with independents and working class Democrats. And the first thing that we continually fail to do is run on policy. And if you think about this campaign between Trump and the woke Harris crowd, you just go down the list of all the policies that are salient in the polling to voters. What do they care about, Chanel? And at the top of the list are two things. One is inflation in the economy, and two is border security. And if you look at the preferences for Trump policies versus Harris-Biden, it's double digits. It's off the charts. Trump just trumps Harris on those two things. Then you go to foreign policy. Kamala Harris has zero foreign policy experience. This is unheard of.
That's right.
In a presidential candidate. And if you look at the polling, again, it's double digits, not just on the general foreign policy question, but on the handling of Ukraine and Israel as well. And Kamala has clearly sided with the river to the sea Palestinian side on that. And this country remains staunchly pro-Israel because they recognize the importance of Israel as a bastion of democracy and security in the Middle East. Going down, so we've got winning on the economy, winning on border, winning on foreign policy. You go to crime, particularly in the cities. Trump, again, double digits, weaponization of the justice system, which put me in prison. It's very troubling, particularly to independents, that the Democrat elites can use our government to imprison political rivals like it's communist China or Pakistan. And then, of course, there's all these woke issues, from the Pentagon ignoring combat readiness to our corporations and workplaces to our schools, and right down to men competing in women's sports. It's so we win on policy. In the New MAGA Deal book, newmagadeal.com, you go through 37 chapters. There's 100 actions, 100 actions in 100 days Donald Trump is going to take on the economy, the border, foreign policy, weaponization of the justice system, getting woke out of this world. And if we simply stick to that, we'll win. All they have is Orange Man bad, Trump's Hitler, and all that rhetoric.
Right.
And abortion,
well,
abortion,
you're
abortion,
a master statistician. You are someone who's been very good at not only taking and condensing what their argument is, but you're a masterful debater in the sense that you take what their argument is and then you hit back with facts, with policy, with the kind of like strategic and methodical outline that you've laid out in all of your books. I look forward to seeing this book, but what is particularly dangerous about your recommendations is the fact that you've advocated on imposing more tariffs on our adversaries, which would in turn help fund more tax breaks for the middle class. This is a solution that globalists and the left hate. They hate the solution from you because it helps America. It actually does cut taxes in a way that does not cut U.S. revenue. I think you have endorsed such ideas as raising a 10% tariff on U.S. imports, right? And that would actually help the middle class and fund a massive swath of their tax breaks.
I think it's very interesting, as well as a vindication, that one of the few things that Joe Biden did not do is reverse the Trump tariffs on communist China. We were roundly criticized when we first put those tariffs on China back in 2017, but they have proven to be very important in terms of defending ourselves against China's economic aggression. Everybody said they were going to be inflationary. They were not. They clearly are not. And we still have a very large trade deficit, not with China, not just with China, but the rest of the world. So that's going to be an important part of our economic policy. Again, attacking Harris needs to be done on policy. She has given a full-throated endorsement to Bidenomics. Okay, what do you got? You got inflation. It's like in Trump's America, you didn't have to choose between food on the table, medicine in the cabinet, and a roof over your head. So many families right now are struggling because of Bidenomics. Kamala's all in on that. She's a lawyer. She doesn't know the first thing about economics, so you can't trust her on that at all. And remember, border secure, all these things are interrelated. When you let in millions of illiterate illegal aliens to flood our labor markets, that drives down the real wages of black, brown, and blue-collar Americans at the same time that it steals their jobs. So on the economy, clearly we're just far superior. And now the other thing, I know time is short. The other thing the book, The New MAGA Deal, does is addresses what MAGA stands for. The other problem we had in the 2022 congressional race, and they're hitting it with us today, is to turn MAGA into a four-letter word. What does it stand for? Make America Great Again. And how did Donald Trump propose to do that back when MAGA became an acronym in the 2016 campaign? Chanel, it's only three things that differentiated him from the Wall Street Republicans he was running against. It's strong manufacturing base, it's border security, and an end-to-endless war. And I don't know how we let them, the Democrat ultra-left, somehow position us as the extremists. It's absurd. All I ever did for Donald Trump was help him create hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs, and when the pandemic hit, save hundreds of thousands of American lives. That's what we in MAGA do. It is
huge testament to the power of your policies and the Trump policies on tariffs that the Biden administration did not get rid of them. I think that's a brilliant point, because we remember in the first month or two of Biden taking office, just out of principle, he was knocking out and reversing Trump policies. And when they got to your trade ideas and your trade policies and your tariffs, they didn't touch those. And I think that is testament to the fact that those were very powerful. They were left in place, and it would only get better if it were actually in the charge of people who are thinking this way. Hopefully we see you in a second Trump term, Dr. Navarro. I look forward to tracking your success. We look forward to getting that book, and thank you, as always, for your time.
It was great to see you, Chanel.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.